Hello people of the U and the Tubes. Today we're looking at the S90 XS from Yamaha, and we'll have a look at how we can apply split voices to the keyboard and how we can change it. So the synthesizer's on, and first thing we have to do is we'll go into perform, and normally goes to user 1001 in the top, so I've already have a preset in here, and we can change the bank. Let's just start with a blank bank increase. Okay, that gets us to user 4. 35 isn't occupied. The first thing that we need to do is put in a voice. Right now we have only one part that is active, which is just the piano, and we can already see what happens when we make our changes. So we have to go into basically the edit mode. So we hit edit, and then either we select the part 1, or we scroll down from common into part 1, and then we can change the voice, or we change our split right away. So we'll leave the piano on and we'll go into play mode, hit enter, and then in the top we can see there is 4 pages to these settings, and we have to go to page 3, I believe. Yep. And then we can basically see the note limit low and note limit high. And what that means is right now the piano is applied to C-2 all the way up to G8, which is the entire range of keys on the piano. And what I will do is I'll slowly turn down the note limit high, and let me play the middle C, and we'll see what happens. And it should be C3 basically where it stops. Okay, so we're at C3. If I go one more, which is B2, now our piano only works on the low end of the keyboard. So we have it limited there. If we're happy with that, if that's what our bass hand does, just the piano, then we can add the second voice. Okay, so we can actually stay in this screen, and we'll just pick the second part, and we can see that the numbers in the note limit changed back to C-2 and G8 because we're in part number 2. We can see that in the top right. And then we want to select the limit low and go to C3. 2, C3. So right now nothing's there because we don't have a voice in there yet. So we have to add a voice. We'll activate the part, and it's still the piano. We'll back out, go into the voice, and put in, say, go electronic here. We'll select pads, for example, saw. Sure, that's actually pretty good. Since we have the keys split, we want to make sure that we set our volumes right as well. And in order to reset that on the Yamaha, you actually have to go all the way up and all the way down on the sliders. That gives you the full range of 127 clicks basically. And that way you can preset your voices. But the one thing I want to do, because the piano is actually too low, I want this 1 octave higher, okay? And we can set that. So let's do that. We can't go here, okay? Because if we did the increase in octave here, see what happens. Okay, so it actually moves our split. So we actually have to go into the part, in our case the piano, and we go into play mode, and we want to go on to page 2 of play mode, and then we can set the note shift to up to plus 24, so that's 2 octaves. One can hear it, right? So, but we want to just go up 1. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That is why we have to go plus 12 on that. And let's see what we can do with that. Then what we can do is we can overlay another part that can go all the way across and that maybe kicks in at a different velocity. This might be interesting for some added effect. So let's activate another part, part 3 in this case. We'll select it and we'll have to play with the note shift a little later. But we want the reach across the entire keyboard, so we don't change anything on that. But we want to change the velocity. I deactivate part 1 and 2. So right now it's just part 3 that's active, and we want its velocity preset. So right now a very light touch is gonna activate it. Let's increase this to say 40. Okay, so nothing, and then 40 is still too sensitive. 90. Yeah, 90, okay. And split on both, that's right. Okay. And then we want to change our voice. So we'll go into the voice, whoops. And we do our selections through the category search, and we want to add some brass and a section. Let's go. Oh yeah. So one has to be a little more careful with the velocity, but we can again change it to the low end so that it actually goes with our accompany, and we can split it down. We can select the velocity, and we can change the note shift. Alright, so this is another approach. A guy can go into mixing. So if a guy hits the mixing button on the right, and I've basically made this part here. And what this is a little bit of an arrangement that gets a guy to do some crazy shit, really. So we have our 4 parts here, and I hope it shows up. It's really bright out. The sun is out. So what I've done is, in mixing, what it gets you is all 4 parts and the voices that are in it. Then if you go to the next page, it gives you the pre-assigned volume, and my sliders are all over the place, but the volume is actually set to what's visible here. The pan is set to center, and then the cool thing is you actually see the split. And this makes this whole thing really cool. So a guy can put in all the parts, all the voices that you want, then you go into this screen and you can basically see where the arrangement is. So I've done it in such a way that I can play the intro on the far right and play the rest on the left. You can actually go and determine the split if you hold. Okay, you can play real normal. And you can determine the split if you hold shift and you push the key where it's supposed to split. Okay, so you select the low end, which is the left side, and then you hit shift and say we want to split it on C1 or C2 is what that is. Yeah, that's right. C2. It moves automatically to that, and then if we select the high end and hold shift, select C4, hit that, and then it splits it right there. You don't even have to use the dial or nothing, and then it's visually there as well. So that's really cool. So low end, we hold shift, go all the way down is A-1, and can go lower yet artificially, and then again the high split, say G up here, and that's it. Really, really cool. So the only thing we cannot do in here is we cannot set the octave. So we would still have to go into our edit, and I think it's 1, yeah, 1, play mode, and then note shift, and we'll need 1 additional octave up. That's better. I don't know what that was, but it's whatever. Okay, so if you're happy with your arrangement, don't forget to save. You can, whenever you make changes, other than the voice, where you have this little box and you have to make a check mark to ensure that it's saved, you can always back out of the other settings. And then we want to go to Store, and we want to select a spot to save it in. And yeah, we want some open spot anyways, and then hit enter. I'm not going to save this.